Me, 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 me. Hello, welcome to another episode of Being Human. You're here with me, Ricky, and today I have a guest for you all, Chris Curry.
Hi guys, it's me, Chris Curry
Yeah, and
from
today,
MySpace.
check him out on MySpace and MSN Messenger.
Yeah,
He's still very active on MSN.
yeah, but don't follow me
Yeah,
because it's just not cool these days.
exactly. And he's probably already following you in person, so there's no
Mm.
point following on MSN. So we thought, obviously, at the moment, we're still in the whole pandemic situation. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's a whole situation thing going on.
Just
And
for those at home who don't know what it is, Ricky, maybe you should recap.
okay, so basically 9/11 happened, and then after that, things have just not been going well for people. And we're still reeling from it. So people are all staying at home, not getting too close, because if you get too close, you become emotionally vulnerable. We don't want that to happen. We thought we'd stay away from that today. But well, in terms of talking about the sad part of it and the fear
Mm.
part of it.
Mm.
And it got me thinking about what's the most scary thing that's ever happened to me. And I'd like you to think about that as well, Chris. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
The scariest thing that's ever happened to me. Well, in fact, you know what? I've already talked about it on a previous podcast.
Was it when you
Uh,
shit
it,
yourself and your
it,
crush
it,
was there?
no, that was the third scariest.
That's scariest. Yeah.
The first scariest was when my mum dragged me out of bed by my feet at
Yeah.
night just
Oh,
to teach me a lesson.
oh yeah, I remember that. What was
Yeah.
the lesson again?
The lesson was don't be a little shit and watch Paranormal Activity and get actually scared from it.
Oh, fair enough.
Otherwise, I will fuck you up.
Wow, wow. Well, did she
Yeah.
watch it with you?
My mum's a lovely lady,
Yeah.
by the way. she she's a very, very devout
Sounds good.
Christian, and yeah, she's a great woman.
Yeah, yeah, but then she
Just don't
scares
go
you
for it.
shitless. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah, yeah.
Or she will traumatize you.
Yeah. The scariest thing that ever happened to me was me and my brother were sat in the living room. It
Mm.
must have been maybe like 13, 14, and we're watching television. And then suddenly a pigeon falls down the chimney and just like flying around the living room. So
Wait, so it doesn't fly down, it just falls?
yeah, it must have been
A
sat.
limp pigeon
Yeah,
falls
a
down
limp.
your chimney.
Yeah, it must have been sat on the chimney and then
Yeah.
suddenly gone, oh, wow, and falling down and then hit the floor and then got up and started flying around, right? In the living
Okay.
room. And it wasn't a very big living room we used to have. Not to show off, we got a bigger one now, but wow. And so we run out of the room because we don't know what to do. And we just go, Dad, there's a pigeon in the living room. And weirdly enough, he wasn't like, what? He was just like, okay, cool, I'll deal with this.
I've been preparing for this.
Yeah, my moment has come.
Just
So obviously,
pulls out a shotgun.
well, he smashes the glass on the wall in case of emergencies glass and pulls out a sheet. So he gets like a bed sheet and he just runs into the living room and throws it over the top of the pigeon.
Mm.
The pigeon immediately calms down. It's
Mm.
almost as though it goes, oh my God, I'm in the living room. I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, wait, no, I'm blind now. That's okay. I feel comfortable. Like, oh, I can't see anything. There's a sheet on top of me. I'm now completely calm. I was asleep all along.
Mm. So this explains the nightmares you've been having, I guess.
What do you mean? The ones where I scream and I go, there's a pigeon in the living room. There's a pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm
And
blind. I'm okay now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to know what that actual white blanket was for originally.
It was
If you
in
had to
case of
break the
pigeons.
glass.
It was
So specifically pigeons.
in case of pigeons break glass is what the sign
Oh,
said.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
And I mean, I think every house should have one of those installed in it just in case. It
Mm.
happens to more people than you'd expect, dude.
Yeah, did you know that 5 people every day die from pigeon-related deaths?
Is that actually true?
Yeah, of them breaking in, they panic, and in most cases, people who have laminate flooring,
Yeah, yeah.
they also drink liquid. So sometimes they spill, they run, they slip, they break their neck, childhood obesity.
Dude, I'm a massive advocate for childhood obesity for this exact reason. But do you know that thing of throwing sheets on stuff? It works with other animals as well. So like crocodiles, if you throw a sheet over their eyes, they become instantly calm.
And who was the first person to discover that?
Well, it was the first person who invented a sheet. It was initially for the purpose of covering crocodile eyes. And then people went, oh, wait, we could use this for other stuff.
Oh my God, what can't this sheet do?
Exactly, dude. What can't it do? You come out of an oil fire with a rag, can't you? So, there you go.
I feel like you're trying to sell it to me, though.
Well, I'm not, but this episode is sponsored by just general sheets.
Sheet in a glass.
Yeah, sheet in a glass. I think that's something else, dude, when you do a sheet in a glass. But it is crazy that there's this, like, almost a universal thing for animals to calm down when they get covered up, their eyes get covered up. It's the opposite for humans. If you cover my eyes, I instantly go like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you remember that time we were driving and you did it to me and I got really angry?
Oh, mate, you wouldn't leave that.
I know, dude.
It's like 3 days in and you still wouldn't leave it. Yeah, okay, we crashed, but,
that's why
we were fine. No one died.
Well, yeah, we didn't die, but 2 other people did. But it's fine. You're right. I'm fine, and I should get over it. And I shouldn't be airing out our dirty rags or sheets on the podcast. So you're right, dude.
Yeah.
But like on the subject of like being able to see, something I was wondering about at the moment is obviously people can't go to opticians. Like you're not supposed to go into an optician's. Or I'm not sure if now you can or not, but obviously originally you weren't allowed to do face-to-face stuff with people. So obviously me and Jess, we both wear glasses. And I was saying as a joke to her, oh, do you think they're doing over-the-phone optician's appointments at the moment? And genuinely last week, she had an optician's appointment over the phone where they phoned her and just went, are your eyes okay? And she was like, I mean, they're both still there. And they were like, good enough for us.
How did it work?
That was genuinely
that was literally it.
Yeah, they phoned her up. They said, oh, how are your eyes? And she was like, they're fine. And they were like,
no small talk,
dude. They didn't even lube her up or anything first. They just went straight into the deep end.
Jeez.
Yeah, raw dogged the conversation, and that was it. She just got asked, are your eyes okay? And which is the weird part of it is she's not an optician, so I don't know if she had the expertise to say whether they're okay or not. But they were willing to take her word for it. So, she's fine. She's been blind for the last week, but they seem fine with that.
She keeps walking into walls.
But... Yeah, but she told them she's fine, so I guess she's fine.
That raises a really good point, because I guess it's almost like this. Imagine... and this is something I actually know because of coronavirus as a result. A lot of people have been avoiding going to the hospital, and instead they're being self-diagnosing. So what I'd be interested to know from you is, have you ever done this? Have you ever looked on Google when you're worried about something? And what have you found when you've done that? Well,
so for me, my dad does this all the time. And he's like a massive hypochondriac. So I do that. And the thing a lot of kids do where they go, I'm going to be the opposite of that. I hate that they do that. So I'm going to do the opposite of it. So I really try to stay away from it. But the one time I did do it, I'm so glad I did. Because I'm going to really divulge some information on the podcast here. But I found a lump on my back, right? And I didn't notice it for a long time, I think. Because what it was, well, I know now it was a long time. It was several years I didn't notice it for. But the only reason I noticed it is because I was working out in the gym, right? And I was trying to do a lat pull, so where you like pull the bar down. And I suddenly felt like, I couldn't move my left side properly. I felt like my arm was getting jarred and stuck on something. And then I noticed, I was pressing around in there, and I felt a really like hard lump. And the more I felt around, it felt like a regular, but it felt very like solid in parts and fleshy in other parts. And I was worried because I started doing some Googling. They say if you look it up, like hard parts in something generally means you might have cancer, which is obviously everyone when they go online, that's the first thing they think of. And I started noticing it I left it for a bit, and it just got worse and worse. And then which a lot of people do as well. And then I went to the doctors, and they said, you've actually got an evil twin growing in your back, and it's been there for several years
Jesus
now.
Christ.
I know, dude. I know.
Mate.
So
What did you do?
well, that's my son Donnie. Donnie's my evil twin. That I gave
That's
birth
Donnie.
to. Donnie, yeah, Donnie.
You gave birth doing lat pull downs.
Lap pull downs at the gym. Donnie fell out.
Yeah.
He rolled on the floor. He was running around, and I was chasing him around, you know. And then eventually I threw a dumbbell at him in the head, knocked him out. And that's Donnie. That's why Donnie don't speak so good. But
Mate, I'm so surprised you didn't read about this on the NHS website.
Dude, it was the one underneath cancer. You always jump over evil twin growing up in my back to cancer straight away.
You just assume someone's hacked the NHS at that point.
You do, dude. And the reason is because like it's more common than you think that people actually do have twins growing inside of them, and they just ignore it. They ignore it until it's too late, and then they get taken over by the evil twin.
Yeah. See, at what point when you had your consultation at the hospital, did the doctor say that to you, or did you go in because you'd already self-diagnosed yourself, and then you went to the doctor and said, "Look, this is what's happening"?
Yeah. Well, I was hugely in denial about it, to be honest with you. So I missed out a few steps in the story there. But for a couple of months before I actually went to the doctor and even noticed the lump, I'd been hearing someone go, "I'm Donnie, I'm your little brother, I live in your back." But I was just ignoring it, dude. And I tell you what, I'd be sleeping and I would hear a little noise coming from my back. And then I'd be like, you know what, dude? I knew it was there since I was like doing my GCSE exams. You know how I knew? Because I was doing my maths exam, and then suddenly it goes, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, Ricky. And I'm like, oh, shut up, Donnie. See, because I knew Donnie was there. But it was only when Donnie started affecting my lat pull downs that I thought I've got to do something about this, you know?
Yeah.
You know me, I love my lat pull downs. If you're in the way of my lat pull downs, we ain't going to get on. You know that. So,
oh, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so exactly. So that's Donnie. That's the story of Donnie for everyone out there. Well, have you ever self-diagnosed?
Yes, I have. And I would be lying if I said I hadn't. And I bet a lot of people out there, including all of our fans watching this, have. And the reason I brought it up in the first place is it reminds me of something that I've learned from my work. So working within design, it's common knowledge that a client will come to you with a problem. And in most cases, that client will already have prescribed their own solution. And when you compare that to, say, doctors and their practice, right, a patient wouldn't go to a doctor having Googled something, figured out what they need, and then prescribe it to themselves and go like, look, doctor, this is the problem. I've done my research. I've looked at the facts. You need to prescribe me this. Doctor, in that case, if the doctor says yes, you know what, you've done your research. Yeah, you've done my job. That's great. Yeah. Here you go. Here are your pills. On your way. And that person goes away, takes those pills, and then dies. Who's liable in that case? Well, it's the doctor. Doctor, because they're the expert. We use that in design a lot to understand when we should be leveraging our experience and expertise within certain circumstances with clients where we'll be having to understand and fully define a problem. So I guess it's the doctor's place or the...
I mean, I get what you're saying, but say, for instance, right, in your design situation, let's say I'm a guy. Let's say I'm a guy, for starters, okay? So I want all the audience to try and visualize that, for instance, for starters, right? Get your mind into that area of the palace. Ricky's a guy in the
Not a dude.
You're not a dude. I'm not a tiny boy. I'm not a giant froggy creature. I'm a guy. And I've got a website I want designed, okay? Right. And it's running shoes for horses, okay? I'm not talking like your traditional shoe, like, you know, your cloven hoof shoe thing.
Like the Nike of horses.
Yeah, we're talking like, no, but literally Nike shoes that you put on a horse. Okay?
Right.
So they look like human feet.
Not practical in any way.
No, they're not for practicality purposes. They're to look G as fuck, okay? And my company, we want this website designed, and we want So like, let's say we go into a meeting with you. This is the first meeting we had. How does this thing play out?
Well, you tell me what you want. We have
Okay,
to
so I want a website
Mhm.
for horses who wear Nike shoes.
Okay. Well,
But for copyright purposes, we'll call them Ricci shoes. Ricci shoes.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And hello, Mr. Guy.
Hi,
It sounds like a really interesting
Doctor
project.
Guy. Thank you.
And I'd really like to understand why you need a website.
I need a website because I've been selling. I went down to. Oh wait, no. So by the way, my guy has a Bradford accent in the scenario, so I
Oh, yeah,
got
yeah.
that off. So like, I would go down to Bradford Market, yeah, and like me and Uncle Iqbal, we'd be like selling the shoes out of the back of the car, yeah, because like we get them out of the back of the car, and then people wanted them, and we'd like run out. But now people are like, oh, let me get some more shoes, need more shoes, because we would sell two. We'd sell them in packs of two, right? But turns out a horse has got 4 feet, man. It's crazy. I didn't know it. Didn't know it. And so I need a better way of distributing the shoes to people. And I've heard of a thing called www.internet.com, which is a place you can do it.
Amazing. So you've had a really high customer demand and you've been able to sell out of all of your products on stores, you say, in Bradford Market.
Yeah,
And
in the market area,
Mm.
we got a stall next to the cubicles
Mm.
where they like, people go do the dirt and stuff in the toilets. So they go in there, they do their business, and we do our business outside of that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
You do your business. So how do you market your products currently? Because
The
you're not
shoes
online at the
here,
moment.
the shoes over here. Shoes
Yeah.
for, no, not for your dirty feet, for your horses. We got the Nike shoes for horses.
Okay.
That's
And
how we do it.
who's your main customer?
There's lots of them, man. There's Frank the Hatchet. There's Ronnie the Coleman. There's Davy Lee. You know
Yeah.
Davy Lee. He comes around all the time, gets more. There's Alfred. You know Alfred. He does the roof, hatching on the roofs. That's 4 of them right there. They're my market, man.
Cool. So when you say you sold out your whole product range,
Yeah, we had 6 shoes.
okay.
People,
And
one person needed shoes for the horse, and one other person needed only the back legs.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And what kind of budget are we looking at?
We're looking at somewhere between 50,000 rupees and 75,000 rupees.
Okay, well, I don't work in rupees.
Oh,
What's that in?
you
What's
are
that in
racist, man. You don't work
hard British pounds?
Oh, I see. You're one of those companies, eh? You're working for the www.internet.co.uk, aren't you? You ain't working the .com.
Absolutely. Come
So
on, give it to me straight.
Let's sit down brass tacks, though.
Mm.
I got 100 grand. I need a nice website making for my horseshoes. Don't ask me where I got the money from. I won't ask you where you got your money from, okay? What do we do next?
It sounds like 100 grand is a little bit expensive.
Well, that's the money I've got to make the website. So
yeah, I think 100 grand you could do it far more efficiently. Say at 50 grand and then putting 50 more grand into your marketing, because it sounds like you're a little bit behind at the moment in terms of your digital presence. So I think initially we'd have to build that up.
No, I got lots of digital presents. My mum got me a PS4 last year, right? That's one digital present. My daddy got me iPhone for my 18th birthday. He got it Iqbal's shop. You sell 2-for-1 iPhones down there, right?
Yeah.
So I got lots of digital presents, right? So I don't need to worry about that. That's fine.
And how strong would you say your presence is on FaceTube and Instabook?
Is that how it usually plays out then, Chris? Is that
what you fight fire with fire, bitch? Yeah.
Question. So you obviously work in digital marketing, and I've been thinking about this with my job. I think you could train someone to be just as good as I am at my job. I think if you gave someone enough training, they could be just as good as me. And I obviously know there's other things out there which you can't do that with. So for instance, being a professional tennis player, it might not matter how much training you've got. if you haven't got the genetics and you don't have the right bone structure, muscle structure, you just can't be one of the best tennis players in the world. Same with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is another obvious example where it doesn't matter how hard you train, how good your nutrition is, even how hard you hit drugs, you might just not have the genetics to be a world.
I've tried.
I know you did. I didn't want to make it too close to home for you, but I wanted to bring up something relatable to you. And I can't believe, dude, you're still hitting your cycle hard as well. You're still hitting testosterone boosters, steroids, SARMs, everything.
It's just a habit now.
And well, yeah, you don't even train anymore. You just take the drugs.
Snorting creatine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You always do a line of creatine before each podcast episode just to get you in the right mindset as well.
You don't?
I do it throughout. If the viewers ever see a hard cut, it's because I've just done a line of creatine and then we had to start filming again. So I was wondering, do you think, so obviously one of your side passions is, would you say videography and photography?
Yeah.
Do you think you could train someone to be a world-class photographer? I'm not saying you personally, I'm saying, do you think there's just a way you could teach someone to be one of the best photographers in the world?
Well, it's completely subjective in a lot of ways, because what defines a good photographer? Mm-hmm. What defines the best photographer in the world? Well, it's really tricky because a lot of people own a camera these days.
Yeah.
And photography, this might be a bit controversial, but I don't think it's that hard in a lot of ways. It took a while to get used to. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's all about looking at things from a different perspective. It's trying to understand the story and an idea that you're trying to convey through an image. Mm-hmm. And then once you do that over time, the more time you spend on it, like the better you're going to get. The best photographer in the world, who is that? Yeah. I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy images of National Geographic photographers who've literally got a camera, a £5,000 camera, left it in the desert in Africa somewhere, captured some close-up shots of elephants walking over it. It just looks incredibly like that kind of stuff. Looks like it takes a lot of experience, a lot of money, a lot of patience. You've got to understand so much more than just photography. I don't think I could teach someone to be the best photographer in the world. No.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just even what you just said about, it's about capturing like a story in a picture. That to me is just such a thing that I can't even grasp my mind around. Like I could go, okay, I'm going to take this picture and to me, it'll look nice, it'll look, but how would I convey a story through it? I don't know. Like I was talking to Jess about the band System of a Down, right? I'm a massive fan of System of a Down.
Yeah.
They have a song called Aerials, and the song is about a circus freak, right? Who all his life he's been a circus freak, and he looks up at the aerial acrobatics, the people who jump through the across the hoops and stuff, and he wants to be like them. So what he does in his mind is he will dream about having their lifestyle, but he's then frustrated because he can't even grasp what that lifestyle is because he has no reference points. So the song is about a guy who wants to be an aerial acrobatic, so he dreams about it, but he's frustrated by his lack of knowledge. That's all encapsulated in the song. And I thought to myself,
Jesus.
Yeah, I could never come up with a concept like that.
And when you listen to it, do you, without any context, do you understand the narrative?
No, not really. Like there's parts of it I understand, but it's one of those things where the lyrics are in such a way you can interpret in lots of ways. Like the aerials part is kind of like, okay, that's definitively about these aerial acrobatic people. That's why they're called aerials. But then there's other lines like, swimming through the void, we hear the word, we lose ourselves and we find it all. You're just like, that could be interpreted in so many different ways, all of which to me are quite beautiful. But I, as a person, no matter how hard I train at bass guitar or how hard I try to learn to sing better, I just wouldn't be able to come up with lyrics that profound. You know what I mean?
I think you would.
And I have.
This is where we cut to your music video.
Yeah, my new music video.
Your acoustic bass poetry.
Yeah. I'm in the band Ricci Horseshoes. I think
Oh,
some of it comes with life experience, obviously.
mm,
Like if you experience different things and you read about lots of different things.
mm.
Like I read very little what's it called? Non-fiction.
Words.
No, sorry, fiction. I read very few words. I read very few fictional
Yeah.
books and stuff. So it probably limits my creativity in that I can't see how other people are creative in that way.
Mm.
I don't know. You read a lot of non-fiction, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I read loads about people who've done interesting things throughout history
Mm.
and science or design. Yeah,
And do you
pretty
feel like
much.
that influences you?
Yeah, I do because in a lot of ways, yeah, I can understand fiction and
Mm.
the aspect of telling a story, having a world, and immersing people in it through words. I think that's amazing and incredible skill. When I read something like that, though, I don't make the connection in the same way. I
Yeah.
don't read. I read it and I'm immersed, but I'm not thinking about the areas of the story that I could pull out and apply to my own life.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead, what I do read is all like guides, tips, advice. Again, stories of real people who've done real creative things,
Hmm.
and then I read about their experiences and I apply that to my own life. I think about right, they did this. How can I take that concept? Is it relevant to me today?
Hmm.
Should I be thinking about this differently? Should I be challenging myself? And I feel like doing that has really helped me to progress in my career and as a person,
Hmm.
as opposed to when I didn't read much and I didn't really question all these thoughts inside my head.
Hmm. Hmm. I think that's. I
Mm,
think it's something that definitely links to. I'm lucky that I'm a scientist because your job is to always question what you're
mm,
thinking to an extent, obviously. So it's something that kind of comes natural to me, and I forget that other
mm,
people don't always do that. So all I'm really saying is you're inferior, Chris. That's all, and that
mm.
but that's fine. You know,
And how often do you question your own sanity?
what do you mean? I don't have to do that. The other voices do that for me. When they say, "Oh, you're fine, Ricky. Don't worry. Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on tighter. Grasp their neck tighter."
Little Dennis.
Yeah, exactly. Donny.
Donny.
Yeah, Donny. Can't believe you forgot your grandson's name. Wait, at least you're my granddad. Something I think.
It's about time the world knows.
Yeah, yeah. I think they needed to know. I think they could probably tell. To be honest, we look almost the same. You know. I don't know if you can tell, but throughout this whole podcast, I've had quite a shadow looming over me, of a shadow of sadness, and
On the wall.
the shadow on the wall. Yeah, that's what
Sorry,
I'm
this is getting too meta now, isn't
it is,
it?
yeah, referring to our own podcasts. We've run out of material when we're just talking about our old podcasts over and over again.
Couldn't
But
help
yeah,
it.
so on the subject
Mm,
of rape and that type of sad area of life, something happened to me while I was driving on the way to holiday. Where I am now, I don't know if the audience could see, I'm not actually in my car anymore. I'm actually managed to find accommodation in Norfolk. I'm squatting in this people's home. They're away somewhere, I don't know. But yes, I'm
mm,
fine. I'm inside, at least until they come back. Which no, I'm good. They're not here, so it's fine. It's fine. Um, anyway, I got. I don't know how to put this. I'm just gonna say I got molested right while I was driving. I was driving on a 40, and this car behind me, she got right up in between my cheeks, dude.
mm,
I was driving 40, she was going like 55, and she got right up inside my cheeks, and there's nothing I can do. I can't get it. I don't want to speed
mm,
up. I'm on a 40, dude, and she's right up in my cheeks, and
mm,
she's parting them. She's getting closer and closer and parting my cheeks. And I'm like, do I just put my foot down and go quicker and quicker? But then what happens? The police see me.
mm,
I'm the victim in that situation, but I'm the one who'll get in trouble. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
And I didn't know what to do, and it's been keeping me up at night. I keep on visualizing it. I keep on going, no, please stop, get out of my cheeks, get out of there. But she keeps on getting closer and closer, and it's keeping me up, and I'm getting cold sweats, and it's a scary thing that happens, and I can see it happens to too many people, and it needs to stop.
Mate, you need the car equivalent of a rape whistle.
I do. like almost like some kind of thing that you can press and it makes a loud noise. You know what I mean? Like something in the car that you can just push your hand onto, something conveniently placed that'll make a loud noise and it'll let them know, no, don't do what you're doing. Or, hey, I'm here, stop that, you know.
And what if that doesn't work? Have you got the car equivalent of pepper spray?
I don't have that. I don't have that, to be fair. Okay.
Piss out the window.
That's a good option, but I'd have to angle it safely while driving. I'd have to do this maneuver and then aiming out. So here's it. Here's the Johnson, the all long Johnson. There's my window, because I've got old-timey window. I'd have to roll it down like this and then stick it out. And then, but the issue is that could cause a crash. And I don't want that to happen. But anyway, I thought I should share with you that's happened to me. And if the audience have noticed I've had low energy today, that's the reason. It was because of that molestation. And it's fine. I'm fine. I'll get over it with time. It's just we need it to stop. Okay? We need road to road molestation to stop. Okay? Stop getting up in the driver's cheeks in front of you. Just stay back. You know what? Social distance from the car. Hashtag social distance from your car. Okay?
Hashtag stay back.
Stay back. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the best things about lockdown for me, Ricky, I don't know about you, but is the time I've saved from commuting.
Yeah.
It's been so good to have that, to be able to
How long would it normally take you?
My commute, for example, it takes 2 hours a day.
Yeah, okay, hour back. Yeah.
I'm commuting to the airport like 5 times a week.
Really?
I get the tram.
Yeah.
So to have that time back has been one of the best things about lockdown for me. And to be honest, I'm going to really miss it. Have you had similar things with your job?
Well, obviously. So for me, I've had that break in commute. So, can I ask you first, what have you done with that time? With that extra time you have? Because obviously it's theoretical extra time. It's not like in the morning you do an hour activity you would have done with that time. It just means you probably start work earlier so you can finish earlier or something like that. But what have you done with those extra hours of your day?
For me, so I finish work, and then because I feel like I've still got some energy, rather than close my laptop or I'll close my work laptop, I open up my personal laptop. And I'll usually just use that last bit of energy in the day to design something, to work on some of my own personal projects.
Right, okay, because that seemed like you were going a very different way there. Like I'd use that little, I'd close my work laptop, I'd open up my own one, and I'd use that little bit last energy I have today.
Obviously, wanking is included in that. Design stuff.
I wonder if we'll ever get to an age where wanking's not funny anymore. I think it would.
I think that's 33.
Is that 33 on the dot?
Yeah.
As soon as you hit 33, done.
Yeah.
Someone make a wanking joke and you'll just shake it. You'll just go. That's when you start tutting as well. When you turn 33, you stop wanking and you start tutting.
Wow, that sounds like a quote of life.
Yeah.
Ricky Bahia.
When you turn 33, you
I feel like I'm going to make that T-shirt. People will look back throughout history and they will remember the greats: Albert Einstein, Nelson Mandela, Ricky Bahia,
Harry Houdini as well. Don't forget. So you've been using that time to design your own type of things, then?
Well, just take a bit of time and spend that time, working on my own stuff. Yeah. What about you?
So obviously it would take me 45 minutes to walk to work and 45 minutes back. So I get about an hour and a half back. And also what I'd have to do is walk to the gym as well. But I've been working out in the flat instead. So that saves a lot of commuting time as well. Because it'd be about 20 minutes out of my way to get to the gym and then 20 minutes added on. So essentially 2 hours of my day taken just from walking to places. And I've had a bit of a mare, to be honest with you. Because I really got into this thing that I started doing with that time. Because I know I've got this time, use it effectively and efficiently. But recently, with recent research that's come out, I've realized I had a mare. And that'll make sense in a bit after I tell you what I've been doing with the time.
Mm.
So what I did is I started a company called the Pussy Patrol. Okay, just listen. Okay, it sounds
Okay.
weird, but it makes sense. And what I was doing is I was hand rearing and raising cats to be able to smell coronavirus. Okay,
Yeah.
and the tagline of the company I already thought about all. It was called "Sniffing Out Coronavirus One Pussy at a Time." Okay, that's what I was thinking. Right, it always thought out. It was clever.
Mm.
So I'd get these cats, and what I'd do was you know how I have close connections to the Chinese government. I
Mm.
would get samples from Wuhan, China, of clothes contaminated with coronavirus,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I would get cats to sniff it, right? So I'd get a cat to sniff it. I'd get them to sniff 3 pieces of
Yeah.
clothing. So I'd lay out two clear items of clothing with no coronavirus on, and one heavily coated in coronavirus. I'd get a heavy coating of coronavirus on that one. And don't worry, I was completely fine. I would wear
Mm.
gloves and I would wear a face mask. So I'd be completely
2 meter distance.
2 meter distance at all times.
Mm.
And if the cat sniffed the right item of clothing and then started to go, meow, coronavirus clothes, meow, I would give it a treat. If it sniffed the wrong item of clothing and started going, meow, coronavirus clothes, meow, I would get a stick and, you know,
Give them the jabby jab.
I'd give it the jabby jab, jab it right in his jab holes, right? And the jab hole. That's why a cat has a jab hole, to be jabbed in. So I do that. And so basically, I was raising these cats to be able to identify coronavirus. I was really trying to help the NHS. I was going, if we could just raise cats to be able to sniff it, well, all you need to do is if you're coming into a shop, someone just hold the cat up like this, right?
They go, oh, look, it's the Pussy Patrol.
Yeah, the Pussy Patrol here. They're going to make sure. Imagine that, dude. Every shop has a dedicated Pussy Patrol employee there, stood there with their Pussy Patrol t-shirt on at the entrance. You come in, they hold the cat up. If you're fine, the cat doesn't do anything. Oh, old man Corona walks in. He's been hanging out too close to his friends at the pub. He walks in. Oh, meow, coronavirus, meow. You're out, mate. You can't come in. You've got coronavirus because the cat can sniff it. But it turns out cats can get coronavirus. So it turns out I've just really been spreading coronavirus around through these cats. And
oh, shit. And they were wrong 100% of the time.
100% of the time, dude. They were their minds were all fucked up because they had coronavirus. They had massive flu symptoms all the time.
Oh, shit.
Yep. So it was a lot of wasted time, really. But
yeah,
you live and you learn.
Did you try and get any support of the government?
Yeah. I got none. 0. Both physical and economic support, they gave me none. I asked for crutches for no reason. Just wanted support. Nothing. Dude, it's crazy.
Mate, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing. That's my response. That's my response to that situation.
Yeah.
But, as I said, I don't feel like I've lost anything because that time I'd usually use for commuting.
Yeah.
So it's not like I had that time in the first place. It feels like fake time. And it just gave me time to experience new things, try different things out. So
what did you do with the cats?
I got Donnie to deal with them. Let's just say Donnie's on a heavy cat diet at the moment. And Donnie is riddled with coronavirus. I mean, he is just riddled with. You can see coronavirus crawling all over him. That's how bad it is, and that's not even a symptom. That's just hit Donnie. Yeah, that's.
Part of me is really worried that this podcast is going to go out into the world and people are going to take it literally, and we're going to be the cause of all this misinformation being spread. And the Pussy Patrol is going to go through a branding crisis.
Dude, I'm fine. It was all worth it in the end for me. I sold the domain name pussypatrol.com and I made a lot of money. So it's
How much?
It was, I think it was close to 30 or 50 quid, something around that much. I mean, after tax, it came down to 10. And then after the money I gave to my, the guy I used to do all my economic finance stuff, I was left with 2 quid. But
I thought you were going to say you were left 20 grand in debt.
Well, yeah, but I don't want the audience to feel sorry for me, so I don't want to say that. I don't want to be truthful with them, which is my own bad. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, dude. That's what I've done with my time.
I think that's a great idea, to be honest, Ricky, Pussy Patrol. And when you think about it, it's actually a better way to encourage people to find out if they have coronavirus or not. Because if I gave you the option right now and you had to pick having a cat come up to you and sniff you to decide if you had coronavirus, or you had to do the already existing method of testing it, which is swabbing your throat and then swabbing your nose as well.
Yeah.
And then putting it in a bag and mailing it to someone.
Yeah. Did you say, have you got that done? Or
not me, no. It's a funny story actually, because my girlfriend has had the test and she got the test for her whole family and not me. You know, I'm not bitter about it, but fuck you. But you know, it's fine.
Well, I think she's just basically saying you're not a human. You don't need to get the test done. You know,
he said that to me, yes.
Yeah, that's why I said,
yeah. I know, yeah.
But you're okay with it because you don't understand what those words mean anyway. So.
I just see shapes moving and assume something.
Yeah.
And then something happens. Yeah, no. Obviously, process of elimination. If she has it, I definitely have it, because sometimes we do kiss.
What?
Well, it's normal, right? Twice a week.
I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, you need to close those lips of yours, my friend. You're kissing someone twice a week. You are a whore and a charlatan, okay? But let's not get into those views at the moment.
Okay.
I see your point, though. Yeah, so I think it would be more approachable just to have a cat. You just drive past the cat, they put it into the window. You're good. Into the window. Meow, coronavirus. Right, you've got it. You know, it'd be a lot quicker turnaround as well. A lot quicker turnaround.
And kids would enjoy it more.
You're right. Yeah, because I think having to stick a swab up your nose and down your throat. So my nephew Hendrix, he went to get it done, and he was super chill about it. I've heard this from my brother. He was just so chill. Like, they put it up his nose, he was fine. They put it in his throat, and he was fine. But it's quite invasive. So I think most kids would probably find that quite scary and a bit, you know, probably kick off a little bit, understandably. But it's interesting now to think about like what kids have to worry about at this particular moment compared to when we were little kids. Like, I remember one of the main things you'd care about as a kid, especially for me. So we only had girls in our school. They only joined when we were like 16.
Yeah.
So up to that point, all boys school. So you don't have that whole social pressure of like, oh, what do girls think about me? Suddenly you're at the age now where you're actually like really interested in girls, if you're into girls, but you know, you're really interested in whatever sexual thing you're interested in at the age of 16. And now you're like going to parties and stuff. And at parties, you have to constantly be thinking, wait, do I look cool? Do they think I'm cool? I don't want to see them uncool. And just reminds me of, thankfully, I never had a situation like this. But one of my mates, we'll just call him OD for this story.
Okay.
OD, he was at this party, and as I said, 16 years old. Girls have just started inviting us to parties because they've just joined our school. So they're really trying to put out the feelers. They don't know what we're like as people. They don't know who's cool or not. They don't know that whole thing yet. So all they want to do is go, hey, come to my party. I'll see what you are like as a person and decide whether you're cool or not and whether I should invite you to others. So OD's at this party, and he's drank way too much because he doesn't know how much too much is at that age. And as a byproduct, if there's any young listeners listening, you might not realize there are two byproducts to drinking too much. One is throwing up. Everyone knows that. Universal vomiting, natural thing. What you might not know is sometimes it also makes you need to go do diarrhea. So
no,
OD's body decided, hey, I could either choose vomiting, I could choose diarrheaing, or I could choose both. And his body decided to choose both. So he went to the bathroom in his place, and he did a shit in the toilet, right? And then immediately turned around and started throwing up on top of his own shit. But now there is a basin, there's a toilet basin filled with vomit and shit. But things get slightly worse. It turns out that this girl's house that they'd they're having the party
Oh no.
was a housewarming party,
Oh, the
and
toilet doesn't work.
the toilet does not
Fuck.
work.
What? That is like some kid's worst nightmare.
Yes,
Did this really happen?
this really happened. Now, OD didn't manage to get out of the situation. People found out that he clogged the toilet with his
Ah.
shit and vomit at this party. And to make matters worse, because he was 16, his dad had to come pick him up and take him home very early from the party.
Ah.
But let's say now we have the minds we have, and we
Mm.
have the intelligence and the fortitude and the dexterity and charisma to get out of the situation somehow. How would you, Chris, get out of this social situation where you've just shit and vomited in one of the toilets, and you've clogged the toilet, so people are going to go there?
Yeah.
What do you do? You've just done it. You've just stood
Holy
up. You've washed your
crap.
hands, and you've
Okay.
done.
Let me ask a few questions first.
Go for it.
Right. The door, does it have a lock?
The door does have a lock on it, and it's
Are
the
there-
second floor, by the way. Second floor.
Are there other toilets in the house?
There is one other toilet downstairs.
Oh, thank God. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the door is locked. There are
Yeah.
toilets in the house. I'm standing in the bathroom. There's
Yeah.
shit and vomit in the. I'm an adult. Is there a bath in the bathroom?
There is a bath.
Okay. So toilets, the flush, you don't actually need the flush to work. As
Yeah.
long as you can flood it with water, it
Yeah.
will flush.
Okay. But just to let you know, there is a queue outside the door as well. People are waiting. The people are knocking now. Leisha's going,
They can wait.
Is someone in there? Because they don't know it's you. They don't know who's in there.
I'm just going to be quiet and pretend I'm being sick, and
Okay.
I'm going to make sick noises
Okay,
while
yeah.
I'm trying to flush it down.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're allowing the social faux pas of that I've drank too much, I'm throwing up.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If an adult was in that state,
Yeah.
I don't even think they would be able to think their way out of that. Like, if you're that drunk,
Yeah.
you probably just lie and pass out in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what would happen. And I think that's basically what happened to OD. I think he basically passed out, and then
Oh,
his dad had to come pick him up after he'd shit and thrown up in this toilet and clogged it.
did he have his trousers on?
I assume he did, because he turned around afterwards and threw it, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I didn't see what happened, essentially. I just know from the story. But let's say, for instance, you are in a right mindset where now you're just suddenly sober. You've
Yep.
shit and vomited out all the alcohol in your system.
Mm.
Scientifically proven you can do that. So you're now completely sober, and you're in this room with the crime you have committed.
Mm.
How do you get out? How do you get out of that being a social thing on you?
Okay, is there a razor in the room?
Yes.
I would shave my head,
Yeah.
smear the shit on my face, and then take off my shirt just so no one recognizes it, and then just run as fast as I can out the house.
Dude, you
And
don't even need to run. You can just open the door and go, "Oh, hey guys, it's me, not OD. I'm someone else."
No one would expect that. No one would know.
OD
And
doesn't
then-
have a bald head and shit all over his face.
The next day when I'm at home, go on Amazon, buy a wig, go back to school like nothing's happened. Well, hey guys, did you hear about that weird bald guy at the party?
And you're like, "Yeah, that dirty bastard, he clogged the toilet. Oh, what's he like?"
They would never know.
That's perfect. That's the
Yeah.
perfect way out.
Okay, how would you get out of that situation?
It's a difficult one because you almost gave the perfect answer. Shave your head, cover your face in shit, take your shirt off. Because then when you leave, anyone in the queue will go, "I don't know who that guy is. He looks kind of like OD, but OD definitely doesn't have a brown face." And OD was definitely wearing the shirt and had hair. See, that's a really good one. I guess you've got a few options. If you're on the second floor and there's a window,
Mm.
you just climb out the window and hope you can jump and not die. And then
Surely
you walk.
people are in the garden.
Pardon?
Surely people are in the garden.
Yeah, but you try and like be stealthy. You jump down and walk back in through the front door and go back up to the back of the queue. And when you're in the queue, you keep on doing this. Jesus Christ, they're taking a long time. Aren't they?"
Banging on the door.
Yeah. Or you've got to make sure you've got to go out, jump out the window, go up to anyone you remotely know and go, let's take a picture quickly. And then take a picture, upload it immediately to Facebook. So if anyone goes, well, the toilet was locked between 10:30 and 11, you're like, yeah, but I was in that picture with Jez at that time. It's on Facebook. We uploaded it at that time.
Dude, as well, what you do when you go back up to the queue,
yeah,
and the next person goes in there and they run out, and just before they can announce it, you go, oh, what have you done in there? And just pass all the blame over.
Oh, no, yeah, but dude, then what would happen is they would kick you out, and then half an hour later, some bald dude with no shirt on and a shirt on his face
just bolts past.
Yeah. The next day, you know what? Jeremy's at school and his hair looks kind of different, but he's like, do you remember that bald guy who came out of the bathroom? And you're like, yeah, he looks an awful lot like you, Jeremy, but you're not bald, so we know it's not you.
So going back to the previous point as well about being the first time, obviously, you're exposed to women.
Yeah.
Or
I exposed myself to women.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Thank you.
So your friend OD, did he ever manage to find love?
This is something people need to hear. A young audience needs to hear. The people got over it so quickly. Like, it's one of the most heinous, disgusting things you could do as an opening to meeting people of the opposite sex. I think when you're a young kid, you always think, everyone's going to remember how terrible that thing I did was. People forgot so quickly. Like, it's the type of thing we bring up now as a joke to be like, dude, do you remember you did that? But people don't care anymore. They just, like, at the time, I think maybe a couple of weeks later, people have forgotten about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to be honest, who hasn't done that?
I know, dude. I do that on purpose at most of the parties I go to.
That's the only reason I invite you to my parties.
I know. Because you want that. Because I know what happens at your parties, dude. You will stab someone and you need someone to distract away from that. And then you go, oh, wait, what's Ricci done in the bathroom over there? I'm essentially your distraction tactic. The police turn up and they go, oh, my God, there's been a stabbing. But, oh, God, what's that smell? Oh, fucking hell. Someone's getting
fucking Ricci again. Yeah. Ricci, how are you doing?
Well, no, I walk out, bald head.
Shit.
Shit on my face.
All right, officer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what happened in there, mate.
Might want to send the bomb disposal squad in.
Can I just point out, I'm in a role now where I employ people for the company I work for, and that is one of the questions we ask them. We say, if you were in an OD situation, how would you get out of it? And if they don't give a good enough answer, they don't get the job.
Oh, mate, am I hired?
You are hired. You would
100%
be hired. Ever.
Oh.
But have I ever been in a situation such as ODs where I've had to really think about how am I going to get out of this? So not recently. When I was I don't think I'd be very good. I think I'd be pretty shit at it. Because when I was a little kid, if I ever got into something where I thought I was going to get in trouble, I would almost freeze up immediately. So like even small things, like say if I knocked over a glass of water, I'd suddenly go, oh, what am I going to do? And I remember my dad saying to me once, he said, because my parents used to be quite strict when I was very little. And then my dad said to me, there was a moment where that thing happened. I knocked over a glass of water. And my dad looked at me and I froze up. And he went, that was the moment I realized I have to change my parenting. Because my kid is just fearful. When I think something bad happens, they get fearful. And that's not what you want to happen. So, but I haven't really been in a situation since I'm older where I've had to really think on my feet in that way.
Well, I guess that's just a byproduct of being older yourself.
Yeah.
You have that experience. You make those mistakes while you're young.
Yeah. It might also be a byproduct of thinking about things differently, though. Like maybe when I was younger, there's things that happen to me when I'm older, and I would go, this is a fight or flight moment. What do I do? But because I'm older and more chilled out, I'm just kind of like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, now, OD situation, I probably would have just opened the door and gone, I've clogged the toilet in there. I've shit and vomited. It's not
Enter at your
flushing.
own risk.
Yeah, so if you want to go in there and piss on top of my shit and vomit, you're a pervert. That's what I'd say.
And if you want to go out with me sometime on a date,
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And if you say no, I was only joking anyway, so who cares? Well, dude, it's been a eventful
Eye-opening.
podcast and eye-opening for sure.
It certainly has.
Yeah, I think we talked about a lot of stuff I didn't expect us to talk about. And
Do we ever?
No, I don't think. Yeah, we never. We just. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we talk about the things we do. But
Yeah, in years to come, psychologists will try and analyze this and find the root cause of why we talk about what we
these
do.
things we do. Yeah,
It will drive them all insane.
For sure, and we will be like, when they go, what was the first animal that ever existed? Where was the missing link to everything that came about? We will be the missing link in a story about why so many people have mental disorders in the future. And they'll go, oh, where does that, like when they go, oh, one person had coronavirus and then these 3 people got it and then these 3 people got it, and they'll track it all the way back to the first person. We will be the thing that they track back to. Everyone has in common. They listened to this podcast and then suddenly they all started having these mental disorders where they would go and shit and vomit in people's houses and start companies like the Pussy Patrol.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We hope
it's been great.
Something.
Hope you have a great day.
And remember to subscribe, subscribe, share with your friends.
Slappity slap that like button.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you all later.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.